The Pike scene is less than a week away, and this trailer for that episode is actually scary. It's like season 6 episode 16 all over again, but this could arguably even be better considering there's no cliffhanger and it's just going to be one big shock. This is going to turn everything on its head, and season 9 honestly hasn't even been that entertaining for me purely because they've all been happy. And so of all times the show has had, I think this is the perfect time for something this shocking to happen. Tomorrow, I'm actually going to be uploading a big Pike death video. It's going to be all about episode 15, everything you need to know. Then make sure you're subscribed and you will see this video first. So let's get into the trailer. The first shot we see is all the people that have come to the fair at the kingdom. Now I'm going to show you this image again and you tell me the first face you see. The first face your eyes go to. It was probably Rosita or Gabriel, wasn't it? And that's because these are the two most likely culprits to the Pikes. All along for me, since season 9 has started, I've been debating whether it's one or the other, and honestly, I think it's Rosita. Ever since episode 12, she's been the only thing progressing Gabriel's character. And when you think about it, Gabriel's the only one who knows about the helicopter situation. He could actually end up helping Michonne in the long run. I definitely think it's going to be Rosita. And of course, Sadiq and Eugene are on her left too, which is funny because in this episode, you're really going to see certain characters with attention this episode more than usual, and that's because they're actually going to be on a Pike by the end of the episode. That's why the trailer is actually all about Ezekiel, which we'll get into in a bit. There will be more attention on certain characters than they've ever had before, and that's of course why Deanne in the top left and Marco in the top right are there, is because these are potential Pike victims, and the fact there's so much attention on them just says they are even more. Now I stopped getting genuinely sad at The Walking Dead after Abraham left, but this shot right here is actually really sad. This is the last time we will see Ezekiel. This is after all his other scenes in the trailer, and this is after or during the fair. He's waving to Daryl. Daryl's leaving the kingdom, and this is usually what happens when a character dies. Apart from it's normally the one that's leaving the community that dies. And so this is where the show is trying to fool you, because we know Daryl gets captured later on in the episode. But Daryl won't even as much as be hurt this episode. It's been foreshadowed so many times now, and it's really obvious. King Ezekiel will die. And I never really say this when predicting deaths, but I really don't want him to die. Obviously it's not real, but it's the fact that this entertainment we've seen on our screen will completely come to an end when Ezekiel dies, because this performance that's being put on will never happen again, especially with the likes of Ezekiel. So it's really sad, but it's extremely likely that it's going to happen. I would say confirmed, but I don't want a lot of old women to start moaning at me in the comments. So they get captured. Daryl, Michonne and Carol, and what no one's mentioning, Yumiko is there too. So what you should know is everyone in this scene is safe. And they will be safe for a very, very long time. But what you should be worried about is every single person in this scene will have someone close to them that will die. These 4 characters are going to be the ones to first see the Pikes. We know this because in the comics, instead of Daryl, Carol, Michonne and Yumiko getting captured, it's Rick, Carl and Lydia. And Rick, Carl and Lydia are literally dismissed. Not even a bad word from Alpha, they just literally just get dismissed and sent back to Alexandria. And that's because Alpha has already killed the 12 people belonging to Rick. And so in this trailer, when Beta says to Daryl, no more people have to die, it's all been done, that's because by this point in the episode, Alpha has already killed like 12 people from their communities. So bear in mind, the people that have been captured will always be the people to first see the Pikes. And in this case, it's Daryl, Carol, Michonne, and Yumiko. And so the fact Yumiko's there as well suggests one of the new characters will die. And the scary part about this is the fact it was Yumiko. It wasn't Connie, it wasn't Kelly, it was Yumiko. And who is the closest one to Yumiko that would be upset seeing someone on the Pikes? Of course, she'd be upset seeing any of the new characters on the Pikes. But who is closest to Yumiko? Why is she there? Magna. I just find it weird that it wasn't Connie that's with Daryl right now. Why is it Yumiko? Is it because Yumiko's looking for someone? Maybe Yumiko's going with Daryl because he can't find Connie, meaning she could even be dead. That's entirely possible too, it could be Connie. But the combination of Michonne, Carol, Daryl and Yumiko, I'm guessing it's going to be Magna or Luke like the comic. Don't forget, Alpha's seen Luke. She's seen Luke and Alden. And so when she goes to the fair, she will see Luke and Alden and she will know, as a way of compensation, as a way of her taking back her deal that she made for Lydia, she will kill Luke and Alden and put them on the Pike. This is why Yumiko's there. There's one person from each community, and so when they go back to see the Pikes, to see where this border is that Alpha mentions, they will each have someone to grieve over, someone to make them fight, to make them push for this war. These 4 characters getting captured just confirms that they're safe. Now, I've seen a few comments on the trailer for this, and a lot of people seem to think this Whisperer is wearing Jerry's face, which I see it could be, but with the Pike deaths right around the corner, literally, I don't see why it would be Jerry, but it looks like Jerry, and if it does turn out to be Jerry's face, I don't see the point of it when the Pike deaths are literally minutes away at this point. There's a part in the trailer where Daryl surrenders. He doesn't give up, he's allowed to walk away. Alpha just dismisses him, and Carol looks upset, and she shakes her head at Daryl as if to say, don't just walk away, which is quite odd for Carol to do, especially when Alpha literally has Daryl at gunpoint, or at least did. But I think, why would she be saying this? Well, if this is Jerry's face that one of the Whisperers are using, of course she wouldn't want to just walk away. She'd want to take revenge. She is the only one out of the other 3 in the group to spend time with Jerry, to be his friend. And there's a big portion of the comics that the show hasn't hinted at in this trailer yet. In the comics, Michonne, Andrea and Dante go missing. But with Michonne in this group and in the Whisperer camp, she couldn't possibly take that counterpart that her comic version had. So assuming Jerry took that part, and obviously Michonne, Andrea and Dante in the comics, they get found. If Jerry took that part from Michonne and 2 other people, they could have been killed beforehand and die like this. But honestly, although it looks a little bit like Jerry, I wouldn't dwell on it. With Ezekiel just about to die, or most probably will die, it's really unlikely. It just wouldn't make sense. What I should mention about Ezekiel, by the way, is that it could be Henry too. I've had this theory for a while that it will be Henry or both. Out of the 2, I'm going with Ezekiel though, but Henry's definitely up there too. In this shot, we see Henry with Ezekiel, and in the comics, it's Rick, Carl and Lydia, and so I assumed Henry would be safe from the Pike. So the fact he's not with them now, he could easily die, and Alpha has seen Henry, so it would make sense. And lastly, will it start to snow from episode 15, making season 10 a snowy season? Honestly, I just don't really see how it could be done. And the only reason people are saying this is because in the synopsis for episode 16, it says the survivors will have to deal with a blizzard. Like, that's literally the only word. It could just be a metaphor for all we know, but I really don't see snow happening. If it does snow, I can imagine it happening when the Pikes are revealed, the heads on the Pikes are revealed and it starts snowing. Got to think, how would season 10 be done in snow? It's a lot easier for shows like Game of Thrones because it's filmed in places where it snows, but The Walking Dead's been filmed for the last 8 years in Southern America where it's always hot. So I can see it happening. We saw Daryl wearing gloves in the trailer, but I don't know how it would be done. Would it all be CGI? I can't take any more CGI from this show, please, like, just don't. So that's all from the trailer for episode 15. We're definitely going to get a few more sneak peek scenes, but until then we're just going to be going straight into episode 15 clueless, and it's going to really shock some of you. I've got a big video coming out for tomorrow. It's all about the Pike deaths. It's all you can expect. I dive into the comics and I compare it to the show, and we're going to try and work out who it will be in the show from the comics, and I really think we're going to be onto something, so make sure you're subscribed so that you're the first to see it. Thanks for watching.